On a sad note, 3 officers of the Nigeria Immigration Service have been killed in a deadly midnight attack by members of the Lakurawa terrorist group at a border checkpoint in Kebbi State. The attack occurred around midnight on Wednesday at Bakin Ruwa, along the Maje border axis of Bagudo Local Government Area. Now, local sources told our correspondent that the terrorists stormed the checkpoint unexpectedly and opened fire on the officers on duty, killing 3 of them instantly. The attackers reportedly set the bodies ablaze before fleeing into the surrounding bush. This incident comes barely 2 weeks after a customs officer was also killed at the same location near the Nigeria and Benin Republic border, raising alarm over intensifying insecurity along the corridor. The attack happened despite a joint border security agreement signed recently between Nigeria and Benin Republic, aimed at curbing assaults on security personnel in the area. A security sources who was not authorized to speak confirmed the attack, describing it as yet another coordinated strike by the Lakurawa gang, a group already linked to several violent incidents across Kebbi State. The motive behind the attack remains unclear, but authorities say investigations are underway. When contacted, the State Police Public Relations Officer CSP Nafiu Abubakar confirmed the incident but said details were still sketchy.
Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Wannan fa mutum ne gashi nan. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Amma masallacin ma sun kona.
Wai a ce ma mutum wai ga mutum yana ci. Allah ya masa bakai, Allah ya masa.
A bakin ruwa kenan fa wannan.
A bakin ruwa.
Now joining us via Zoom to discuss on the Kebbi Insecurity is Aliyu Haliru Bunza. He is a public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Now, based on what we know about the repeated attacks along the Maje Bagudo axis, including the latest incident we saw on Wednesday, what does this tell us about the operational capacity and tactics of the Lakurawa group?
Well, good evening. The Lakurawa group is a Sahel bandit organization. It doesn't originate from Nigeria. They have a link with the Nigeria Republic through Libya, through Burkina Faso, Mali. So they are all over Nigerian border towns within the northwestern region of the country. And quite unfortunate, Kebbi is sharing border with this Benin, Niger, and Burkina Faso. And that is why there have been consistent attacks from the Lakurawas. This Lakurawa sect, first, they are cattle restaurants. They don't attack individuals. They preach Islamic, they wrestle cattle from herders, and they force communities to pay taxes, villages and towns within the border region. So the incident that happened recently in Bagudo Maje area with the loss of 3 Nigerian immigration personnel is a quite unfortunate incident. These are border checkpoints, and we keep saying our security must be tactical. They shouldn't be separating themselves. They should be ganging up. How can immigration officers be in the middle of the night, patrolling in the middle of the bush with the present security situation in the country? So the security situation have to change their mode of operation within these border communities, and there should be a synergy between them and the community. Because when you have a good synergy with the community, you always have a backup. You always have a first-hand information if such attacks or such people are crossing. They have a route. Like what recently happened in Bagudo, local government with this an unconfirmed report stated that it's the route of this Lakurawa. They usually pass through routes, and every time they come across government officials, more especially uniformed men, they just attack them. They don't spare them. So our security personnel need to be off and ready at all the time, not only in the night, because in Lakurawa they operate in daily basis, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and in the night. They don't have a specific time because they migrate from one place to another. If they attack, they move. They move and they move out of the country. They don't base in Nigeria. They don't base in Kebbi State. They base in the communities, villages, remote, especially remote villages within the Niger, Benin, Nigeria, Burkina borders. And that is why recently we have been having consistent attack from these Lakurawas.
Okay, based on the explanation you gave concerning the borders between Nigeria, Benin, and then Mali, and then surprisingly, this attack took place despite, the recent signed Nigeria-Benin joint border security agreement that we had. So where do you see the major gaps in implementing that agreement on the ground?
Well, recently, there is a joint task force with Niger, Benin, and Nigerian forces. What we're saying, we have to commend Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for giving a marching order for the recruitment of all policemen, for combating, for recruitment of these forest guards that had training recently. So, who personnel need to be recruited, and state that are serious, need to produce state policing. We have vigilante. So vigilantes need to be trained, need to be and be coordinated and be employed to work together with the security personnel, such as under the control of the police, under the control of the military. There should be synergy between all these security agencies, and more equipment need to be bring into. There will be our policemen are short of this equipment. If you see these Lakurawas, these bandits, they are using modern equipment. So the government need to come in seriously and give our security personnel modern equipment that they can face these bandits, that they can face this Lakurawa. As I was saying, there was a joint task force with Benin Republic, Niger Republic, and Nigeria Republic. If you go to the border, you will see their vehicles, you will see them patrolling, but they are not enough. So this community policing is very key and very important. More equipment, more weapons need to be brought into. Our personnel need to be trained and be retrained, because these people are getting modern training, and we need to have that. When I'm talking about equipment, we're supposed to have consistent surveillance in our borders. These people have two borders, operate and go back to where they come from. If we can have consistent surveillance, we have modern equipment. Developed countries are using drones to monitor their borders. Why? We have these resources. Nigeria is a nation with abundant resources. We can buy these drones. We can have consistent surveillance in our borders. When we have this surveillance in our borders, we will monitor the movement on this kind of people migrating into the country. If you can checkmate their migration, then you can reduce their movement within the country. By that, I believe the government will surely succeed in protecting the lives and properties of Nigeria.
So based on what we know about the Lakurawa groups, they go into borders and communities and they get to attack people. But according to the report that we got, what happened on Wednesday, the attackers, reportedly burned the officers' bodies. That is after the attack. So how significant is this detail? Does it suggest a shift in the group's level of brutality or the message they intend to send?
Because this is the first time such an incident happened. They were about, as you likely said, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, they attacked Maje border. They shot a custom officer during that, but they didn't burn anything. They didn't burn even a single vehicle. So they are shifting their attacks. They are bringing another way of attacking the security personnel, because it's not only there. There was an attack some few months ago in an immigration checkpoint about 40-50 kilometers from Kebbi State capital, Benin Kebbi. And they attacked these checkpoints, but they didn't burn their vehicles. But this one is a different one. They burned man's body. They assassinated 3 immigration personnel. After assassinating them, they burned down the whole checkpoint. So this is another way they are shifting their attacks into a different dimension. So the security the security personnel need to be off doing, because we need to stop this menace. Because if they feel they are succeeding, coming into our country, operating, attacking our people, and moving freely, then we don't know what will happen tomorrow. They will, by tomorrow, it's not checkpoint. They will be attacking villages. From villages, they will be attacking towns. Then they will move to the city. So we have to keep up. The government have to come up. The Senate and the National Assembly, they should fast track this constitution. They should sign it. Give states that constitutional opportunity to create state policing, because each community, they have youth. If you employ this community guards to guard their community, you equip them under the control of the military, of the police. But believe me or not, they will stand fit to defend their people. Because it is gone. They don't have any miracle. It's that weapon that they have that gave them the courage to attack people. So if our teaming youths, our security personnel are having modern guns, modern equipment, modern fighting strategy, they can defend every community. So the government have to fast track this, and I'm calling on all the state governors to do their best and fast track creating this community policing, regardless of political affiliation. If you are in any other party, this is Nigeria. We're talking about Nigeria. Yeah. We're talking about the survival of this country. We're not talking about politics. No politics. So please, everybody should put his hand on deck. Let us fight this thoroughly. Let us stop this menace, because it's destroying our people. They are stopping people from farming. They will put levy on communities. A community that they cannot raise 1 million, they'll put them a levy of about 10 million before they will go to their farms. We want people to survive with this active. That is why this active poverty is hitting people badly. It's just because of this insecurity. We know people, northern western of this country are farmers. Most of them are farmers. So if they don't go to farms, what do you expect? Then poverty will hit them back.
Okay. Nigerians are really hopeful that the federal government will do the needful in curbing these incessant issues that we're having based on insecurity in Nigeria. Thank you for speaking with us tonight, Public Affairs Analyst Aliyu Haliru Bonza. Thank you for speaking with us tonight.
Thank you very much. Good night.